Well, we're at a construction site in downtown Coldwater. We're in the Kerr Hardware Building, and soon to be renamed, still the Kerr Hardware Building. Anyway, Jennifer Wingard is with us, and she is really the backbone of this project. And Jennifer, let's talk about how this whole project got started and what got you involved.
Well, I wanted to live lightly on the planet. I can't think of anything better than rehabbing an old building instead of building a new one. And of course, the project got away from me a little. It's a bit bigger than I'd hoped, but we have a lot of financial support to make it work.
Mm-hmm. And you got some grant money, is that right, too?
Yes, the city gave us some grant money and the state gave us some grant money as long as we would do things their way.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about what's all going on here and some of the things that you found. What's going to be on the first floor?
This will be 2 restaurants. Pache's will be here in the area we're sitting. Next door will be Mama Rosa's. And the following spot is either going to be my salvage company or we're going to rent it out to somebody else. We haven't decided.
And if you're thinking about something like that, contact you.
Please.
Right? Exactly right.
Please.
Okay, so let's move up to the second floor. Let's talk about that.
The second and third floors will be apartments. There'll be 14 apartments, and about 4 of them will be 2-bedroom, the rest 1.
Okay, all right. And so how does this all work, Jennifer? You guys started the construction in here, a very old building. What are some of the things that you found that you had to redo or fix or, oh my goodness, I didn't expect that?
Well, Tim, it starts 10 years before that when you start working on getting the money together. And of course, that's pretty depressing, so we should talk about the construction. what
I know it was a challenge for
how that came about, because this has been the fun part of it. We had a structural engineer come through, and the building is pretty well gutted, so we didn't have a lot of surprises. Okay. But we were surprised that the 3rd floor on the back of 61 West Chicago and the 3rd floor on the back of the Milnes building, which is 67 and 69, were not built with the traditional 3 rows of brick. Mm-hmm. They were built with 2 rows, an outside and an inside, and tied together with a wire, which, because the building's roof has had many problems, were rusted out, and we had to tear those down and rebuild the 3rd floor walls. We found some of the beams in the front are rotten out. One of the steel sills is gone, and so all those have to be done. But the most exciting part is the gravestone in the basement.
Really?
Yeah. The guys from Parrish who are doing the excavating were digging out down there for a lot of footings. We had an awful lot of steel in this building to support it. And when they did, they came upon a stone that resembled a gravestone that was supporting the furnace. They carefully pulled it out and found, thank God nobody is buried in the basement, but that the people whose stone it is must have been their family. Had a new one made, a marble one made, and the old limestone, I believe is what they're made of, is down in the basement. We can show you that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, are you just going to leave it down there? Is that what you're going to do?
The Historic Society has asked for it, and so if they have a good use for it, we'll let them have it.
All right. Let's talk about the outside real quick. Did you have to, are you re-bricking everything, or is it structurally sound? What are some of the issues there?
Well, no, it's it's got a lot of problems. Besides the rebuilding of the walls in the back, the entire area is being tuck pointed. And also some of the bricks have started to get soft. Okay. So you'll probably notice when you drive by the Hampton Street side, they pulled out the soft brick, and we had to put in new.
Mm-hmm. All right, so a project like this, Jennifer comes, takes a look at this. You start with an architect, and I know that Scott Morrison of S. Allen Design is your architect. Talk to me about a little bit of the vision that you two kind of came up with a little bit.
Oh, well, the vision is dictated by the building, and we had a wonderful plan, I thought. Scott is brilliant. But then the bank decided we did it wrong, and they wanted more apartments and more square footage that was usable, so we changed.
Mm-hmm. And then, so the restaurants, or at least two of them, are all spoken for down here. We're excited about that. When do you think this is all going to wrap up?
Probably in February.
Okay. And then for people that may be interested in the apartments upstairs, what should they do?
Well, 51% of the apartments will go to people who make only 80% of the average median income for this area. So people who have a limited income can come talk to me, bring in their references, and I will give them the paper that they have to fill out, and they can take it to the city. The other people should contact me, and we'll see if we can get them in.
All right, so there's 14, you'll be in downtown. One of the questions I think people will ask too is, where will everybody park? So you got 14 apartments upstairs. Are they going to park in the back? Are they going to park on the street? Where will they park?
We have 9 additional parking spaces that we'll put in the alley. Those will be for rent also. Besides that, you know, I'm always overwhelmed with how much parking there is in Coldwater because I spent time in D.C. But there's plenty of public parking for the additional people, and over in
kind of the EBU Center right there.
Yeah, I forget what the name of that parking lot is, but in that area they will have at least 5 extra spots when they refinish it.
Pretty much handled then. It should be good.
I think so.
Right. You come to the restaurant, park out front, walk in, and it's right next to Tibbetts, so people will have, you know, some culture to go along with.
Every once in a while you may have to actually walk a block, but if you can handle that.
Well, you know what? People like myself, probably good that I walk a block or two.
It wouldn't hurt any of us,
no,
actually.
Exactly right. Well, we're so used to just getting out and being right there that, but this is really going to be when it's finalized, a fabulous project in downtown Coldwater, and you know, you got to be excited. What are your overall feelings about where you're at, where you're going, and?
Well, I'll tell you, there's one thing I want people to know, because I have had some criticism, not too much, but I've had some criticism because I've used federal and state funds. But I think it's worth it, not for me, but for downtown Coldwater. We'll have in this building $5.7 million. It'll be worth about $500,000. That's what the loan will be at the end of this project. The loan will be about $500,000, and it'll take the building 25 years to pay it off. My hope is that it's worth that to the city of Coldwater.
Oh, absolutely. Otherwise, you know, this has always been kind of a dead corner for, you know, when I moved here 30 years ago, of course, Kerr Hardware was up and running, and but it's been a dead corner for a long time, and it'll be good to have something that has kind of a multitude of functions, I think, in downtown. And the restaurants, you know, you talk about some of the different restaurants. You know, you got Italian, and then the Poshi's, I believe that is seafood. Is that what they kind of specialize in?
Cajun seafood.
You know, we really don't have anything like that here, and so just a good attraction, I think, overall.
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. I give you a lot of credit, because I know that you've had to stick with it more times than not, where people are like, absolutely not, this is not going to work. And I will tell you that, as I told you earlier, I said I was one of those doubters. I was like, I just don't know if that project is ever really going to happen, and here we are.
Some people say I'm like a dog with a bone. I just won't give up.
Well, Well, Jennifer, thanks for spending some time with us here today.
Great.
And we look forward to coming back and seeing the progress, and we'll kind of do some updates so people can kind of see what's all going on.
Okay.
All right. Jennifer Wingard, we're at the Kerr Building in downtown Coldwater, and you're watching Our Community. I'm Tim Harthaver.